My name is Timothy Moultrie. I'm a lifelong South Carolinian. I live exactly nowhere. If you triangulate, you'll find that I'm between Helion, Red Bank, and what's the other spot? Gilbert. So that is exactly nowhere. My family has been in the state longer than the state's been a state. The state flag is in fact patterned upon the Moultrie flag, so that's just a little bit of history for you. And I very proudly take upon me the mantle of a revolutionary. My great-great-great-great-grandfather proudly took pot shots at the British, so I'm happy to say that I want to continue that tradition. I am running for the office of State Superintendent of Education for a very simple reason. I am not only a teacher, but I'm a farmer and a father and a homeschooler. I teach in the South Carolina public schools. I have seen what is very dreadfully wrong. We have an awful lot of good teachers. But we are, and it's so often recognized, that we are very, very top-heavy in our administration. If you listen to the news on a daily basis, the one thing you'll constantly hear is, we have a budget cut, and the response to that is to throw teachers under the bus. I don't think an administrator to date has lost a job or taken a pay cut. Well, before I go on too long, because as a teacher I can speak forever, I'm going to whittle it down very quickly. We need to change the nature and philosophy of education in South Carolina. Roughly half of the state budget at any given year goes to education. We need to change the way education is done. We need a paradigm shift. We need to change its philosophy. And in order to do that, I believe we need to do 5 things. First of all, we need to eliminate the property tax. Whether or not you realize that your home is hostage to the spending whims of a bureaucrat. I'll explain more in a moment. We need to absolutely adopt a voucher system. There is no question about that. You go out and make choices on your daily life. If the McDonald's serves you a lousy hamburger, you walk across the street to the Hardee's or Wendy's or what have you, and we seem to manage just fine, and we all benefit from that competition. We need to completely restructure the nature of our buildings. As you drive through any place in South Carolina, you don't see schools. You see Taj Mahals that are built to notify and glorify your local bureaucracy, and that's absurd. I'm long fond of saying that if you give me a stylus, a clay tablet, and a shade tree, a student who wants to learn, and I can teach them. I don't need the bells and the whistles. They're simply window dressing on a larger problem, and that is mostly our bureaucracy. Another thing we need to do, and that is post the CAFRs. CAFRs are something that a lot of people haven't heard of. Usually when we think about the spending of a local bureaucracy, and by the way, we have 85, and I commonly refer to those 85 different school districts as little kingdoms, because they very much direct their own agendas, which is, to a degree, fine. We want to have some local direction, but the spending is the problem. And we think that, well, if we access the budget, then we know what they're spending, and that's not actually the case. The CAFR is a comprehensive annual financial report, and they can be extraordinarily difficult to access. In fact, in my last bid for office in 2006, right, I forgot my numbers here. In 2006, I found CAFRs squirreled away in such places as the school lunch menus posted online, and they were very, very reluctant to release to me what should be freely open information to the public. And these are things that I intend to post. Another thing that we need to do is we need to absolutely post the district policies for grading, discipline. People aren't aware of some of the things that actually go on in school districts, because it has been my experience that schools, generally speaking, in school districts, are more concerned about the appearances of improvement, graduation rates, and so forth, and they will manipulate all kinds of data to make those graduation rates look good. Also, at the same time, I believe that not only should we publish this information and make it available to the public very, very inexpensively by posting it on the internet, we need to do the same thing to our state legislature. Time and again, you've seen Ms. Haley say, you know, we need to post these votes. I want everybody to see what's going on. You know, if this is the public's business with the public's money, let's get it out there. Well, again, it goes back to those appearances. You know, the average legislator, if he knows that he's going to be able to get away with something and not let you know about it, he's happy to do so. Well, I want to put to them some very very serious questions, and I want a yes or no answer. Do you believe the people of South Carolina have the right to own their property? I believe that answer should be yes, and I believe they should have that in its entirety. Many of you may or may not realize that you do not own your house. You simply pay a regular ransom to the local government for the privilege of staying in something that they choose to allow you to stay in at the moment. If you don't believe me, try the following experiment. If you owe $1,000 for your property taxes, pay $999.99 and fail to pay that last penny, and they can't come take your home and sell it for auction. So by default, by definition, you do not own your home. And in America, I believe that you should actually own your wealth. The thing is that your home is held hostage to these spending limits. Now, how can we change the nature of the spending? Changing the nature of the spending has to go to how you make your choices. Right now, you have no choice. What we have from Mr. Rex, and Rick, let me tell you this, Mr. Rex is a very nice man. Philosophically, he's dead wrong, but he's a very nice man. The reality is what we have proposed, or what he has presented us as choice, is not choice. It is as much choice as saying, buy anything you want to eat, as long as it's from the McDonald's value menu. And that's it. We need to have the option, and this is the way I propose it on my website, is a true constellation of choices. And that means you attach the money to the child. And wherever that child goes, so goes the money. If that child chooses to go to an apprenticeship, he wants to learn how to switch wrenches on a car and learn it from his uncle's going to have to pay some insurance to cover the possible cost of injuries. It's going to be kind of a pain to train this guy who doesn't know what a 9/16 wrench is. But then again, I suppose it's all metric now. If he chooses to go to a private school or a parochial school or a church school, it is not my decision to direct what choice is best for the child. But right now, that is exactly the condition we have. Everyone at the bureaucratic level is directing for your children what is best. For you as an individual, what is best. And yet, nowhere else in your life is that done. Nowhere else in our lives would we tolerate that in every public education we do. Like I say, I'm a public school teacher. I love what I do, and I'm fortunate. I feel like sometimes it's a racket. You know, I get to get up every morning, feed my animals in the morning, go into school, I run a small farm, go into school, do what I love to do, and then go back to the animals again, and I get to teach my children some little more things that I may have missed during the day. But what we need to do as a culture is recognize that you're really not going to get anything different if you pull the lever for those that they would have you pull it for. I've met Mr. Holloman, I have met Mr. Zace. Ladies and gentlemen, they're classic bureaucrats. And if bureaucracy is the problem, how can you put a bureaucrat in charge of it and expect to render any change? You will not. I will guarantee you this. If you do the usual and pull the levers the way you have habitually done, you will get more of the same. You will have another Rex administration. And that is very much what we do not need and what we cannot afford in these economic crises that we have. We have to make a paradigm shift in education, and we have to release the hold that the bureaucrats have on our homes. Now, a lot of people would ask, well, how do you, as someone who is running for a post of state superintendent of education, propose to change the state law which says that they hold their property? I want to lean on them, doing the one thing they don't want, and that is publicizing. I cannot write the legislation. I can write proposed legislation, but I have to find a sponsor, and that's the first thing I'd like to do. I would like you, legislator, to sponsor this legislation that will give citizens the right to own their homes, and that is a yes or a no question. Would you like to have that posted on YouTube? And put it in their faces. And don't give them any wiggle room, because wiggle room is their lifeblood right now. I would like to give you, the citizens, and me, a citizen, the full right to spend money that is attached to children in a way that I see best fit. And ask the legislator, do you believe that the citizens have that right or not? Yes or no? Answer now. And by the way, I'm posting it on YouTube. I also want to address the fact, as I mentioned before, these palatial estates that we're now calling these schools. Folks, you can teach anybody anything, anywhere, if they want to learn. school buildings. I teach, I'll use my own school building as an example. I teach in a school building that costs approximately $200 million. It's insane. It's a beautiful building. I can't say that I dislike it. The air conditioning works. I've got a nice view. And yet there were problems because what they began to what they were most concerned about was appearances. At the back of my room, for an example, there are 8 portals for computers. There's one computer. I have a computer, and there's one for the students. Now, where did the other 7 computers go? Well, the other 7 computers and the other 7 computers in all other classrooms were turned into sod, grass, so that the school could have a green lawn. What's the priority? I think the priorities are wrong. Another $250,000 was turned into a brick fence around the school. That's $500,000 in one school for appearances. We need to change this philosophy entirely. And again, we need to also post how much they're spending so that everybody can see it.